Hitler's World Cup war wind-ups.
Stein.
It's tick though.
Yeah,
That's our Jewish pronunciation section. Is it Stein or Stein?
we have with us Daniel Finkelstein.
I think it's Finkelstein.
You say Finkelstein, I say
No, see,
Finkelstein.
Let's call the whole thing
Jew.
Dan, not Jew. I can't. You can say that because you are Jewish. I
Okay.
can't. But anyway, Fink in the house is the point.
Yes, we're going to call you the Fink, because you write the thing I think called the Fink Tank in the Times, which is a football statistics page, isn't it?
That's right, yes. Well, we've got a model of the Premiership, but also now the World Cup, which consists of 4,500 matches imputed into a big computer, and we've simulated the whole of the World Cup to get the probabilities of all the different results and the probabilities of the different players playing well for England or for other countries.
You know,
Do you have little model soldiers like when they do Waterloo and stuff like that?
If Andy Gray can have tiddlywinks on Sky, don't you think I can have little models?
well, the thing
I
is,
think you can have little models, certainly.
the thing is, I think of you as quite a sort of intellectual Jewish. I should say for our listeners that the Fink is a balding glasses man who is exactly as you might expect. But when you said computed into a big computer, you rather let me down in terms of your scientific know-how.
Yes, well, it's been put into a computer then, David, is that all right?
That's all right. So what are our chances?
Well, hold on. What's been put into a computer? Can you just say a general kind of
Yes.
thing of the stuff you put into the computer?
Basically, it's goals and shots on goal. And those are the things that really influence a football result. And all the things that football fans think matters a lot, like injuries or which exact player is playing on which day, those things matter a lot less than just a record of what happened over the last 4 years in terms of goals and shots on goal. And you can make a pretty accurate prediction of the chance of winning a game just with that information.
Have you tried? You've tried this system before. I mean, what,
Absolutely.
for example, did you predict?
In the last World Cup, we started by saying that there was a 25% chance of Senegal beating France. The bookies thought it was actually a 1 in 8 chance, and of course Senegal won.
Did you
Also-
did you ever bet on that?
Well, actually, we've been betting against the Premiership for the last 4 years, and we made a profit every year. This year, for instance, we said Wigan would come in the middle of the table. We got it spot on with Wigan, and we made a profit on the Premiership in general.
When you say we made a profit, what you and these boffins, I could use the word boffins, are actually got some kind of float that you make money on.
Absolutely, computed into the computer, as we technical people like to put it.
Yes, right, though. I don't know many football fans who thought Wigan would finish halfway up the Premiership.
Absolutely.
So, what is our chances of winning the World Cup in 2006?
Okay, well, you've got to take all the countries playing. There are 32 countries playing the tournament, and you've got to give each of them a chance of winning. And so England only end up with a 5% chance of winning the tournament, because you've also got to say Brazil have got a 13% chance, France have got an 11.1% chance, Germany have got a 10.9% chance. And when you've taken all the teams,
Yes.
it's a 95% chance we won't win the World Cup.
And that's based on games leading up to the World Cup. How far does it go back?
We've gone back to 1998,
Right.
and we've also got all the goals scored, and we've divided them into games like major championships, minor championships, friendlies, qualifiers.
So does anyone know, perhaps Roche can tell us, what is the present odds for England winning the World Cup?
You can get kind of 7 to 1, and you can it's between 5 to 1 and 7 to 1.
So that's a much bigger percentage
Massive
chance
underestimate.
than you are saying scientifically.
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. It's a mugs game betting at those odds.
It's a mugs game, is it?
So, who
That's
should
another technical term.
Okay, so who should we bet on then?
Well, it depends on the odds.
Okay.
I think the best thing to do is try betting against some of the countries. People have an overestimate of almost every country's chances of winning the tournament. So one of the things you can do is, with something like Betfair, is start betting against countries winning.
Okay.
I read the other day that the Italian, I can't remember his name, the Italian Serie A striker, who's got the most goals in Serie A, is 33 to 1 to win the Golden Boot, which seems an incredible bet, if that's true.
Well,
Lucia, I think his name is.
one of the things that I would never do is bet on scorers, because the chance of particular scores or particular scorers are very low. It's very difficult to estimate and extremely difficult to get an edge on it.
One thing that I know as well is that you completely discount the idea of match fitness. I think we hear a lot about at the moment, particularly about Rooney, the idea that he'll get fit, but then he needs to get match fit.
We did a study where we took every game where somebody had been off for a month, and compared it with the game before they were off for a month to see whether there was a statistical difference between the contributions they made in those two games, and we found no statistically different contributions. So as far as we're concerned, there's no statistical evidence that there is match fitness.
I really like that, actually, I have to say, because it's one of those things that commentators talk about that we completely take for granted, that, you know, he needs to get match fit. And when you actually stop to think about it, what on earth does it mean? Because surely a player playing at the top level, if he's physically fit and is playing in training games the whole time, why should he not just go out and play football?
Yeah, but the thing is that Rooney won't have been playing. He won't have been doing any football at all for about 2.5 months. So his reflexes will be slightly off.
Well, not according to the Fink.
Well, no, I'm not arguing with the Fink, God forbid. They booked Trafalgar Square on an open-top bus and all that for June the 11th to celebrate England's World Cup win.
Yes, they are. They're very hopeful about that, but presumably it's difficult to close off London at a moment's notice, so they have to do it, don't they? When I heard about it, I didn't know whether I thought it was a good thing or a bad thing in terms of omens. I mean, obviously you're a Catholic, you don't believe luck exists, but if you do imagine that something could be an omen, whether or not them booking a victory parade.
Yeah, but you've got to book it. And I say, if Brazil did say, look, we'll take the coach, we'll stop off on the way home and do a victory parade in London, because there's a lot of Brazilians living in London, probably. Certainly a lot of Brazilians in London.
Yeah, loads of them.
I think, especially that time of the year, I think when people just want to let the air get to everything.
Yeah.
If they went on an open top, I think they'd still get quite a good turnout, Brazil.
Yeah, I think so, but it might be a little bit difficult to say. The Scottish people, who apparently are supposed to be part of these victory celebrations, would perhaps be pleased.
Well, I think they'll get the day off. I think Britain gets the day off, including Scotland.
Do you think the Scottish people will go to work out of spite?
Well, why break the habit of a life?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think they'll probably come down and they probably will throw things at the coach.
It's an interesting point you raise about Brazilians, because I wonder if Brazil doing well, and say winning the World Cup as they do normally, adds to people getting Brazilians, whether more people at waxing salons ask for Brazilians because the brand has been improved by Brazil doing well in the World Cup.
Well, I'm having my pubic hair cut into a cross of St George.
Are you?
For the World Cup, yeah.
Well, that's bound to help.
Yeah.
I think that should be their pride of place in the victory parade.
I think so. It comes with its own flagpole on a good day.
Now, if anyone is wondering what we're using as our music on this podcast, it is in fact Frank Skinner playing the banjo. Surprisingly that might seem. Perhaps you could tell us why because I've never known you to play any musical instrument, really.
No, well, I'm doing a documentary for BBC One in which a series of celebrities learn an instrument each.
And why did you choose the banjo?
Well, I think the banjo is essentially a comedy musical instrument. When I've said to people I'm learning the banjo, even you, when you said banjo, then a smile was playing on your lips.
Yeah, and also you suit the banjo, I think. I mean, because for many years you've done a George Formby impression. Now, I know he played the banjolele.
Yes.
But it's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yes. Claude Banjolele, he was known as, when he played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I'm taking
it to Germany. It to Germany. It's quite a big instrument.
I am taking it to Germany, and my teacher said, look, I don't know if you'll be able to take it as hand luggage. He said, I went on a plane, and they wouldn't let me take it on as hand luggage until I took the strings off. He said,
that made all the difference.
In case I tried to strangle somebody with the banjo strings.
Right. Right. What about hitting someone with the banjo head?
That's another thing, yeah, of course. So that's a slight worry as well. Although at least I wouldn't be able to with the cow's arse.
The great thing about strangling someone with banjo strings, though, on a plane is I imagine they'll start twanging and playing.
Yeah.
So you'd be killing someone and playing some kind of bluegrass thing at the same time.
Well, the idea that you could hijack a plane with a banjo, what a great headline that would be.
It's so awful as well if that was the last thing before you actually lost consciousness, if you could just hear your fingers playing some kind of hillbilly
But
thing.
I think the passengers, as well as terrified, would be slightly giggling
Yeah,
at the banjo.